Good morning,
Good
Australia.
good afternoon, Texas. And it looks a little very, very bright where you are.
It is very, very bright. I've got a lot of light coming in next to me. It's very, very sunny. It's warm. We've been having storms here off and on. Now, see, it's going to go cloudy
Oh.
just as soon as we talk about the sun, but it's off and on. It's crazy, crazy spring wet weather we're having here in Houston.
And I've just noticed the sunrise is coming over my head here on the left.
And
On the
it's
right.
pretty early in the morning in
It
Oz,
is.
isn't it? Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
Well, we've got someone new today. We've never talked to
Yes.
her before. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And I love where she lives, Southern
She lives in
California.
a beautiful part of
Oh,
California. But before we bring her on, there's something I want to remind you that we need to ask all our viewers to do. And that is when you're watching Iridology around the world, be sure and give us a
press
thumbs up.
like,
Give us a thumbs up.
thumbs
That's all you
up.
got to do. We are trying, and I know you're trying too. I know you're trying to get iridology out there. You know, iridology is not a common word in most households, like massage therapy, or like healthy eating, or like hmm, maybe even foot reflexology. I think is a little bit more known around the world than
Mhm.
iridology is. You know,
Not for long.
well, we need the help. So, guys, give us the
Thumbs
thumbs
up.
up every
Or,
time
or
you
leave a
see.
message.
Huh?
Or leave a comment.
Oh, we'd love a comment. Oh, well, you know what? I went back today and I was looking and reading some of the comments, and we are getting a lot of good comments, a lot of good likes, a lot of good praise. But the more you hit that like button, that thumbs up, it's going to broadcast that out there. This is the mission. We want iridology to be as known in households around this world as the term massage therapy. Okay? Do that for me. We love you for doing that.
Yay.
We thank you for doing that. But Chris, tell us who's coming on.
Well, we've got a wonderful woman called Amy from Southern California. Come on down, Amy.
Amy Grupe.
Pacific time zone.
Yes, there
Hello.
she
And look at
is.
her lovely, lovely out like view. I just
Her
love it.
in her backyard, it looks so peaceful.
Oh, love
Pretty
it.
Is
peaceful.
it peaceful, Amy? Is it
It's
peaceful?
pretty peaceful. We have a few coyotes back there once in a while, but otherwise pretty peaceful.
Good.
Oh,
It looks
well,
very
welcome,
nice.
Amy. It's good to have you here.
Thank
Yes.
you. Good to be here.
Great. Well, we want to know a little bit of something about you, if that's okay. Um,
Yeah.
First of all, how long have you been doing iridology?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. I've been studying eyes my whole life. I had no idea whatsoever that it was a science. And like you said, Kathy, a lot of people don't really know what this is. And, even eye doctors don't know what it is. So I just didn't know it was a science. Eyes to me when I was growing up looked like art. And I didn't know there was such a thing called iridology until about 10 years ago. I was studying my doctor of naturopathy and I was just about ready to finish the program. And they had this part of the program called iridology, and it was just a little snippet, but I was so intrigued and I'm like, I want more. I want more. So at the very end of that curriculum, I waited to do the iridology coursework, and I was blessed to live within 50 minutes of Dr. Ellen Tart Jensen.
Oh,
So, yeah, I know. She's a dear person to me. She's my mentor. I get teary when I think of her. She has been a mentor, a teacher, a practitioner to me. And I just feel so blessed that I fell on top of Ellen Tart Jensen. So I went to the master, and I've been actually formally practicing now for about 10 years and
and did you
constantly
learn in her
learning.
home? Did you do the course in her home?
I did. I
Isn't it
did.
so relaxing? And
Mhm.
what I just love going to visit there.
It's
Mhm.
wonderful. She
Oh,
starts her
so
mornings
good.
out with those morning meditations and her flowers and her peace and calm about her and just her teaching style. She's absolutely one of my favorite teachers I've ever had.
Mhm.
That's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what inspired you? I know you've been, looking at eyes all your life, but what inspired you to do that?
There's a lot of reasons. I had a baby doll when I was growing up. Her name was Little Miss No Name, and she had these big black eyes, and it would have a little tear, and you'd fill her up with water, and the tear would come out because she didn't have a name.
Oh,
It was so sad, but I loved her eyes. Um,
oh,
and yeah, it's one of those funny memories I had. I don't know. I've always just been fascinated with eyes. We would go to family gatherings at my aunt's house, and one of my cousins his name, we called him or we called him Dollar Bill. He was just this larger than life personality, and he would just, you wanted to be around him. Everybody wanted to be around him. So he would tell me I had $1 million smile and the most beautiful brown eyes he's ever seen. I'm going to underline brown because I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, because of him, I would often look at my eyes in the mirror and say, oh my goodness, there's colors in there. There's shapes, there's patterns, there's all this to look at. I didn't know that, there was a study of iridology, but I wish I had at that early age. And then fast forward to when I was in college, I was going for biology. And they had those Punnett squares, where you have like, my dad was brown eye, my mom was blue eye. So I would mess with that and do the dominant recessive and try to figure out. So I thought I inherited my dad's brown eyes. My mom's eyes were blue and my brothers were blue. So that was kind of a fun thing. So I think those two things combined, just the art of the eyes and the fascination, because my cousin Bill said I had these beautiful big brown eyes, just intrigued me my whole life. I just never got tired of looking at them. And so when you first meet people, you're connected through the eyes. So that's really where it started.
Oh, I love that story.
Amazing. What a great
I think
story.
we have found us a storyteller, Christos.
Yay, absolutely.
That's a good story. I love that story.
Good story, yeah.
Dollar Bill.
I'll never forget him. And I love that if he knew today, if he were still alive today, I think he'd be really tickled that I'm in the field of iridology, because he really was my inspiration.
That is great.
I think when you do it in a webinar or a presentation for IPA, you should definitely start with that story.
I'll be happy to. Yeah.
That's a good story.
So good.
It's so funny.
Have you still got the doll? Sorry to interrupt, Kathy. Have you still got the doll?
No, I don't have the doll. No, no. I used to cut my doll's hair and put him in the refrigerator because they told me that would make the hair gross. I think my mom threw it out. She found it in the refrigerator. It was just.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Can you imagine open the refrigerator and there's a doll staring back at you? It'd keep you out of the refrigerator. It sure would. That's funny.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask you. Oh my. Oh, I think I was going to say, just kind of interject, that isn't it funny? Things people say to us when we're young, when we're children, when we're, that youthful age, 9, 10, 11, 12, that they say something, and then we find ourselves doing that, 15 years later, we're wrapped up into that, or we're involved in that. And it's just kind of a trigger. I just think that that's so funny, because I'll tell you, I started wearing glasses when I was 7. I was, poor little thing. I guess I was about half blind, and I came home from school having these terrible headaches, and my mom kind of put 2 and 2 together, and she asked my teacher. She said, "Where does she sit in the classroom?" And I was kind of in the middle there, but I would find myself leaning forward to see the chalkboard a little bit more. And my mother put 2 and 2 together, and anyways, I ended up in the eye doctor's office. And with, like I said, the terrible headache. So I was just as nearsighted as a bat. And so they put me in glasses, and my vision only deteriorated as I got older. It got, by the time I was 9 years old, I was in bifocals. By the time I was 10, they were talking about trifocals then. And they put me in contact lens to slow that progression of the lens being so whacked out. So I remember just having a lovely relationship with my eye doctor. And I was thinking, when I was about 9 and 10, going into that transition of contact lens, I was just so captivated by him that I wanted to be an eye doctor. And I kept telling people, I'm going to be an eye doctor when I grow up. I'm going to be an eye doctor when I grow up. Well, I never did, but I got awfully close. So isn't that funny? You just triggered that memory in me when you were talking about Dollar Bill, talking about your eyes and how that, and the doll baby. It just hit me. Yeah, I thought I'd share.
Yay. And you kind of are an eye specialist, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
In a
you have a
different
good
way.
understanding of the other side of the eyes too, because I know I met an ophthalmologist not long ago, and we started talking, and he was interested because he sees things, and he said, "Can I call you if I see something that I'm not sure about?" I said, "Absolutely, we can work together for sure."
What a wise
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
You met a wise man. Where are our
And
ophthalmologists out there? Where are they?
yeah. And Amy, do you have a practice in Southern California? Do you work from home?
Yeah, I practice in my
Awesome.
home now. I had an office,
Great.
and then COVID took care of that. So I moved in the home about 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you so you're a naturopathic doctor as well.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
All right.
awesome. It is.
I use iridology to like help me, I kind of focus on the whole emotional side of wellness. And I've been studying a little bit about Denny Johnson's work, and I've just really been able to use iridology. I mean, I have this chart that's pretty banged up, but I use this one a lot when I'm talking to clients because I feel like it gives me those gentle questions to try to help get them to open up a little bit. And we all
Yes.
know that stress is one of the biggest reasons why we're sick. So yeah.
Yeah, I love
Well,
that chart.
I wished I'd have known that you were really into that. I would have invited you to a class I'm teaching right now on relationships in iridology.
Oh,
And it's about how to use birth order and personality and behavioral iridology to help our clients with relationships within their family and their friends and their love lives and whatever they're experiencing, because that's just another beautiful way of taking the eyes and going a step further with it besides just the physicality that we all know how to work with. So
Absolutely.
I'd love to look into that. In fact, I have this little book here, and
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
studying birth order, and it's just dabble. I did take your class, Christos, about the
Yeah.
birth order, and it was just like, ooh, went over my head. So it got me interested in studying a little bit more about that. But Kath, I'd love to look into that a little bit more with you.
Chris and I are going to be doing another birth order class real soon.
Hmm.
And it's really you have to put your kind of head, just put your head in a different place, put your mind and your brain in a different place. And once you get it, you got it.
Yeah.
And it
I,
never
I
leaves.
remember when I studied birth order, it was kind of like so much sort of personal development for myself. And when I did it again, and when I did it for the third time, that's when it kind of really stuck about how to use it with my clients as well. Because it's a lot to take in, really, isn't it?
A lot.
What's your birth order, Amy?
I think I'm firstborn girl. I don't
Great.
quite understand the sequence. I mean, I was the firstborn from my parents and then my brother. So I look at that and I see some things. I see some polarity shift too. But I think
Yeah.
that's what I am.
Are
Yeah.
you the
Yeah.
firstborn from your father? Did he have
Yes.
another family before you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. You're one
You're
girl.
first
Perfect.
you're one girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
So is
I'm a one
Kathy.
girl.
That's why she's so scary. But Amy's not scary. Anyway, Amy, out of all those eyes that you've seen, what's your favorite sign that you've seen?
You know what? I knew you were going to ask me that. And oh boy, that is a tough one for me because there's so much to see. And as you know, I've been so curious my whole life. The first thing I thought of was color because, I was told I had these beautiful big brown eyes and my mom was blue eyed and I wanted to be like my mom. My brother had blue eyes and then my dad had brown eyes. So I was like happy because I was daddy's little girl. But when I went to take my class with Dr. Ellen and we had the iris analysis, she said I was a mixed iris and I just kind of sunk in my chair and I thought, no, there's that song by Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl. It's my song. And, I'm going to have to find Mixed Eyed Girl. What do I do? But anyway, then I thought it was like when I started learning about the flower petals, the lacuna, and I looked in my eyes, I don't have any. I have one tiny one in my little heart lacuna area, heart reaction field. And so I'm really not a flowery person. But I have to tell you, oh my gosh, my favorite iris signs have got to be rings. You can see I don't have any more fingers. I'm all things rings. And I think that's a tie-in, Kathy, like you were saying about the eye doctor and so on. I don't know. I just love all things rings. When I first started looking at the iris, I saw from the pupillary border all the way out to the end, there's all these rings. There's differences in the rings. There's different zones. And it was just so fascinating. Everything was just circular, no end. And when you dig in a little deeper, you can see more about a person. And so I wonder, knowing me the short time you've known me, what kind of rings you might think you might see in my eyes. Any guesses?
Well, I'm going to take a plunge and say rings of accomplishment. Yeah.
Type A, get her done. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And it's
So,
interesting that you've got that beautiful little heart lacuna. I think that makes, I've got a heart lacuna too at 3 o'clock in my left eye. And I really believe that makes you really want to love what you do, but also feel that love from others. That's really important with the heart lacuna, but just really love it. And we can tell just by your face that you love what you do.
thank you for saying that, because when I first heard that, I was a little nervous, and Dr. Ellen said, tell me about your heart. And I said, well, I think I'm okay. Aside from some broken relationships, but yeah, I do. I think you're right. I think it does have to do with our outward expression. And,
Totally.
I do with the rings of achievement, rings of freedom, I guess. It's really taught me, my life lesson is I really need to learn to appreciate those things that I do more, and also focus, slow down, enjoy the ride, and not just live life with a checklist. And I see so many people, you probably do too, with the anxiety tetanic subtype. And I'm seeing it in children now, which is crazy, because I think that I read somewhere that they're going to consider it maybe being a fifth Irish sign, because so many people have those rings. So that's one of them. But I think it's really good to help people learn their life lesson, and what you can do with that, appreciate it.
And I kind of believe that with that heart lacuna, one of your life lessons is to feel and appreciate love and be loved. But the greatest of those is to love yourself. Like that's our greatest lesson, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
I love it. I've got one of those. We're heart lacuna siblings. Yay.
Well, have we had a daily devotional today? Thank you, Chris.
Yay.
Wow.
I think it's game time.
Oh, it is game time. Oh, you know what? Oh, I just happen to have that right here. Amy, we'd like for you to pick a number between 1 and 36, and let's see if we can find you a question.
Let's see. How about 36?
Oh boy, that's a loaded one right there.
I love that.
As long as I don't have to pass a test or answer questions, I'm good.
Well, let's see what 36 is all about. Okay, well, just okay. It is what it is.
Oh, I get scared when she makes that face.
Every time I visit my iridologist, she tries to sell me tons of products. She always has the latest health food or magic pill. I know that I cannot spend excess money on supplements outside of digestive enzymes and a few herbal formulas. How can I tell her I don't need all of the products she is suggesting? I don't think we've ever had this before.
We haven't.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's a new one. Okay. Well, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, so you're asking me to answer that? Oh, okay. I thought you guys were going to answer. I was like,
no, we let you get it.
We will as well. We will.
I'm going to tell you, I have been, from the time I was a kid, to medical doctors, strep throat, lived on antibiotics. I think I ate them more than I ate food. And I had to kind of search for other things to try to get well and stay well. And so I'm one of those people that have gone to multiple practitioners and have closets full of supplements, garage full of supplements. I have supplements, and I tend to be an iridologist that works to try to work on, foundational stuff first before I throw supplements at someone, because I've had that happen to me. And I've spent a lot of money on supplements, and half the time I never finish them and they expire, and then you have to throw them away. So I think that's a really important thing for people to recognize, that to me, a supplement is not a pill for an ill. And we're trained that way in Western medicine, a pill for an ill. That a supplement is just that. It's meant to be a supplement for either a short period of time, or if we can't get someone to eat right or chew their food or sleep well, then they might be on it for a little longer. But I would have to empathize with that person. I would hope that they would tell me that they don't want to come in just for supplements. But I take the approach the other way as an iridologist, that I don't go there first. I like to
Yeah,
work on
I
the
love that.
foundations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I would say, and one of my lessons is in life is to speak up, because I've got a ring of harmony. I want to keep people happy, and I don't like to say no. I don't want to do that, or because I want to hurt it. I want this iridologist that I'm seeing to be happy. So I would tend in the past to say, yeah, okay, I'll try and do that, or maybe I'll pick those up next week when I've got more money or something. But I think what I'd like to think is that I'd say, well, I can take the enzymes and the herbs, and what else can I do in my life to help that?
Good approach. Good approach. And things were different for me a few years ago when I had a health food store, because I had supplements and tinctures and different foods at my disposal to suggest to people. But I learned early on that people don't need a lot of things, and they're not going to gain anything by taking a sack of supplements. You're not going to know what's working. You as a practitioner are not going to have your finger on the pulse if they're taking 5 or 6 types of supplements and you're working on trying to help one or two things. And you pick your target. If you're going to work with digestion, maybe suggest the digestive enzymes or a probiotic, whichever, but use foods to nourish and bring about what you want to see. Use other therapies that you want to see. One of the things that you can get miles with, affirmations, and they're free. They're free. Journaling is one of the best therapies on the planet, and it's free. If you have a pencil and paper, you have a journal. Meditation, one of the best therapies on the planet. It's free, Now, they work. They work just like enzymes work. So I don't suggest a lot of products. When I had a store, I didn't do it either. And today I work from my home office. I don't sell a thing. There's nothing for me to sell. So I work with foods. I work with other modalities, natural therapies, other modalities that are out there. If you need a massage therapist, go see a massage therapist. Spend your money on that. Make wise choices. Don't walk away and go home with a bag full of products that, like you said earlier, Amy, they're probably going to expire, within a year, and you've only taken, half a bottle. It's a waste of money. So use your resources outside of supplementation. Go to food.
It's interesting to me too that people look at the price of organic and think it's expensive, but have no problem spending 30 or 40, $50 on a bottle of supplements.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's just that mentality, we come into, especially in America, we have been trained at a young age to take a pill for an ill every time something happens. And I have a lot of people, probably like you guys, where people come in with their bags of medicines and they want me to give them a supplement instead of a medicine. Well, I can't do that, and I won't do that. So let's fix the problem, the root problem.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, we're in the industry of the root cause analysis. That's the end that we're at, not the symptom fix. We don't want to fix the symptom. We want to get to the root cause, see what the problem is, address the problem, fix the problem, go on and have a healthy life.
Absolutely. Love it.
There you go. Well,
great question.
This has been a blast, Amy.
Thank you, guys. It has been a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
You are
it's so lovely for you to join us.
So remember, everyone, thumbs up. When you see Iridology around the world, give us that thumbs up. Let us know where you are and how much you love us, because we love you.
Yay.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.